Well, welcome to Monks Alive, and we got Tony on here, have Don here with us. Hey guys,
Hey,
Hey,
I was just putting all that together for the show, and was remembering about going up there. It was an amazing trip to go to Nebraska and watch all that. Um, so
yeah, I
yeah,
really liked that video with the birds, and you really got me on your April Fool's video. It was classic.
you know, I got a lot of hate off of that. I had a lot of people were really upset with me. That's clickbait. I said it was April Fool's. Oh, I forgot about April Fool's. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, I was
So,
like, oh my gosh, what happened? I didn't see that one pop up, and it was said 6 days ago. It didn't even click on me that it was April Fool's.
yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to put together, but that was a good trip. And you got to watch them prairie dogs that get you.
Yeah, especially the blacktail ones.
The blacktail ones are the worst. They can't run far, but they can run fast.
all I could think about is there's a good reason not to piss off your editor.
Yeah. Oh goodness. It was fun. It was
Yeah, and
fun.
and those birds, that was beautiful. I loved it.
Well, thank you. We went. I really thought it was going to be a bust. The first day I got there, went out to the fields. They were a lot of them, but you couldn't. I mean, they were a half mile away, and I've got my zoom lens out. I'm trying to get something, and I can't get. It won't focus. The stubble from the cornfields are there, and I can't get it to focus. I took a few pictures and thought this is going to be a waste of time. But the next day, went out there, and the Crane Trust, they have a visitor center. They give you this little orientation before they take you out to the blinds, and there were 50 people in there, and I thought, oh man, this is going to be crowded. It's going to be a mess. And we got to the blinds, and when they split us up, so there's 25 in each. They didn't look like they were that big. Well, it just so happened that the blind that I was in, everybody congregated down on one end. I went to the other end, and I was by myself. And I sat there, and then finally, this one guy, he walks down with his wife, and he was there to take pictures too. So we sat there, and everybody else left us alone. It was great. The only thing was you couldn't use a tripod. They didn't want you to bring a tripod in because of the too crowded. So I handheld that that lens for 2 hours, and I got to get back in the gym. This was it was a mess.
I couldn't imagine being in a room with 25 people.
But I'm telling you, Tony, they all got to one end, and the guide was down there, and she was telling jokes, and they were laughing, and they were having a good time, and I was
Jimmy?
really happy. Jordan, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Jimmy's here. I'm just getting to know Jordan. He lives in California. Don, he told me a place to hike there. Let's see if I can find that, because I was just thinking of you as he was telling me. Where was it?
Hiking in California? Boy,
Yeah.
I only one person that does that.
Yeah.
Of course, now your videos are from Oregon going south, right?
Well, they're actually Northern California. Yeah. Going south.
Well, yeah, they were Mount Rubidoux and Etowanda Preserve.
Yeah.
I'm probably not saying that right, but two places that he said would be good trails. So I've never hiked in California, but I thought of you, Don.
Yeah, there's a lot of hiking in California.
There is.
Yeah.
I did a bunch when I was in my 20s down there on the Indian reservations and stuff like that. You could go out for the day, but you couldn't stay the night.
Mm.
So we got to hike the canyons the best we could for the day and enjoy, some of the lookout points that the Indians used out of these canyons. And you go up through the rocks up to these lookout points, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh me. Yeah.
Sorry, Jimmy, this isn't a select group.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jordan says he tries to get 15,000 steps in a day, and I think
you
he
just
works
need to
for
put the
UPS,
bathroom further away.
If it were me, that's yes. Well, he's out there. He's a good guy. Oh my. So, Tony, are you settling in?
Yeah, I'll be here till the 20th at this spot.
Okay.
As you can see, I got my stuff set up behind me here.
Yeah.
So I can still work on my rocks.
Okay.
So where are you at now?
I am in Verde Valley Thousand Trails Park, just south of Cottonwood, Arizona.
Okay.
We went up to Golden Valley for a while, and it was like, I'm looking at the weather going, no, we need to go back down south a little more. We had to go through Flagstaff to get here. So I had to add a couple days in Golden Valley because they were getting severe amount of snow and stuff like that in Flagstaff. So I was like, oh, we'll just add.
Yeah.
So you were in Golden Valley, or are you there now? Sorry.
No, I was in Golden Valley. I came down here yesterday.
Okay.
I like Golden Valley. If I was to buy property, that would be one of my spots.
So what is the cost of living out there? Cost of land and stuff? Is it?
I don't know.
Crazy?
We were looking around Kingman last year or the year before, something like that. I can get like 15 acres for $5,000. And we're very tempted to do something like that, because we still got to spend the money to get power, water, and sewer.
Yeah.
And that stuff, as you know, it's not cheap.
Right. Yep. Bika's online with us.
Is that
can y'all see me? I thought I was invisible.
Is that iced tea or moonshine?
We can see that.
Kind of suspicious looking, isn't it?
You've had some hiking.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Great.
That's awesome.
Had quite a bit of hiking.
Yeah. And how was it?
The Palmetto Trail was awesome, except for that night when a windstorm came up, and I was in my little X-Mid tent.
Yeah.
The Smoky Mountain Trail was also awesome, but it was a whole lot longer than I thought it was. I thought it was 8 miles, and I thought, well, I can do 8 miles. I've done 8 miles before, but it ended up being 12. Actually, 12.6.
So,
and it was that was hard.
I've had trips like that. My buddy's like, oh, it's 1.5 miles on the beach. Like,
yeah.
oh, we're just going hiking the beach. I don't wear my rubber boots. This is like 6-7 miles to get to camp. And I did the whole thing in rubber boots both ways. It's like, heck with you guys. And I actually had a half rack of beer in my backpack. That's not light.
No.
Unless
I was not happy with this, guys. I'm like, it's been at least 1 mile now. Where's camp? And they're like, oh, down around a couple bends down there. And I'm like, that's more than 1 mile.
Yeah.
I didn't see a soul all day long on that trail until I got about 5 miles from the inn, and this young man comes walking up, and I said, did you come from Sugarland's Visitor Center, which was where I was supposed to meet my husband? And he says, yeah. I said, how far is it? He says, oh, 5 or 6 miles. And I'm like, it can't be. It can't be that far.
I've already done that
But
much.
I had blisters on my feet, blisters on my hands. You know.
Oh, no. No.
I just got to research it out a little bit more before I do that again. But Dan, I'm loving your calendar picture this month.
Oh, let's see. Is that the mountain?
It's a waterfall.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm going to love next month's even more. That's a really good one.
Thank you. I'm excited to. In my mind, I've got next year's picked out. I think I'm going to do 3 next year.
Oh, okay.
Style.
Yeah, I'm going to do one with birds. I was going to do one with owls. Of course, that I haven't seen an owl other than the one that Tony and I laughed about. Well, I did. I've got another owl. I do have another owl. This one right here. That's my little owl. If I can get him.
There you go.
That's the closest thing I've got to an owl.
Owls are not easy.
No,
I keep seeing pictures on Facebook, and I'm like, how in the heck did you even find these guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It is crazy. But I mean, I saw one today where there was 2 great horned owls here in southeast Kansas. I didn't know we had.
Part.
Yeah. Now, Bika, when you were hiking, how was your knee holding up?
It was great. Absolutely no knee pain, no foot pain, except when I started getting blisters. But I can't hear with that on.
Get him.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, it held up wonderfully. Wonderfully.
Great.
Good. It's too tall behaving.
Don't hold up well.
He's And
Yeah,
Don, I have been really, really enjoying your videos.
Well, thank you. I think appreciate the comments too.
Those views on that trail are just we don't have anything like that on the East Coast.
Well, in this section I'm posting right now, I'm walking around Mount Shasta a lot, and it was really pretty.
Yeah.
Lots of trees around Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading up on that because it said that the Indians consider that a holy place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the center of the earth.
A lot of people believe that
Mount Shasta, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that Mount Shasta has these mystical properties that I don't know, heal and do all kinds of stuff.
Mount Shasta? In the Shasta Caverns?
Mm-mm.
Oh man. Absolutely beautiful, stunning crystal caverns under Mount Shasta.
Nice.
Oh.
No kidding.
Sounds like a place I need to visit.
Yes, add it to your list.
Wow.
It's a bit of a trek going through the caves and all, but they got it all lit up, and there's places where they'll just switch off the lights and it's still lit up with all the phosphorescence in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was one of those things that I got to do again at some point.
Oh my.
But I had some equipment failures. On the Palmetto Trail, my trekking poles broke.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, and I actually took some advice from Tony on that.
Oh.
Yeah. When I got back home, I managed to use them, but the lock part had broke off of one of them, and I didn't know it till I got hiking down the trail, and anyway, when I got back home, I says, well, I got to have some trekking poles. If we're going to the mountains, I need some new trekking poles. So Too Tall says, oh, Mom, you got to get these and some kind of, and I looked them up and they were like over $100, you know. And I told him, I said, son, I'm 71 years old. I don't even know if I'll be able to hike tomorrow. I'm going to Walmart. So I got some Walmart special trekking poles, but they work really well in the Smokies.
I've been carrying a set of $10 trekking poles for about 8 years now, and they've been.
There you go.
Yeah, mine have not failed either. And mine have a shock absorber in the end, which I thought for sure that's going to wear out at some point. And no, it's still doing just fine.
Oh, that's neat.
I don't always carry a trekking pole. I like a walking stick better. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I when I've got my trekking pole tent, well, I'm bringing a trekking pole. And there's been a couple hikes where I just stuck that in the backpack and used my walking stick anyway.
And then in the Smokies, about halfway through my hike, my the chest strap broke on my backpack.
Oh, that's a bad one.
And I hate that. I've had that happen before, and I love that backpack.
Did it break on the straps?
The strap actually come unthreaded.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And but I had an extra, what do you call that thing? The clips, which clip things onto the
like
strap with. Yeah, carabiner, and just pulled it from one side over to the other and clipped it on the little
Put a little
daisy
loop
chains.
in there. You have to.
But I hated that.
I don't know about hiking without the chest strap. It's fine with my day pack, but my regular pack, I kind of want that thing.
Yeah.
So which I'm looking at the map for the Palmetto Trail. What area did you hike?
I did this past hike was the Lake Moultrie Trail.
Oh, okay, I see that.
Yeah. And the next section is the Lake Marion, or I forgot what they called it, but it's close to Lake Marion. Utah Springs or something like that.
Oh, okay, yep. Coming up south of the Santee something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lake Marion, I see it. Okay.
Eat up with gators. Eat up with big gators.
Behind a fence, right?
No. No.
How's that ever an option?
I've gotten used to the fact that I could see cougars, mountain lions, and bears and things like that. And I don't know about alligators, though. I wouldn't want one of those things crawling up on me.
I haven't tried alligator yet, so I'm unsure about that situation.
Well,
fortunately, they were peaceful. So
yeah, I lived in Southeast Georgia when I was in the Navy, and on base we saw some alligators. There was an alligator underneath my neighbor's car. She didn't even realize it. She got in the car and drove off. Thought it was a thing of golf bags, and then it moved. Because she saw the rearview mirror.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Nope.
Yeah. I was down in Florida. I'd gone from the Pentagon down to Fort McNeil, or not Fort McNeil Air Force Base, and so I had to meet down there with some of them. And this was at the beginning of the war, so I went out to a lake and I took my lunch. I just wanted to get away from it all, so I was out sitting on the bank, and this log was floating out in the middle of the lake. And I keep looking at it, and it keeps getting closer and closer. And I realized, no, that's not a log. It was a gator. It was swimming over there.
That log has eyeballs.
Yes, it did. I decided
that's how they scope you out, just before they lunge at you. They come real slow up to you where you don't even know what they are, and then all of a sudden,
Yep, no, I was said, "Gone. I'm out of here." Oh yeah. But they taste good. I like gator.
I haven't tried it yet, but I've
It's
not been in gator country yet either.
oh, true, true.
Right now, I'm in rattlesnake country for sure. So hopefully, I can run across one.
Oh, well. They taste all right too.
Yeah, they're
That's
pretty
what I'm
good.
hoping.
As long as somebody else fixes them.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Uh,
I just got to figure out how to get across the Verde River from where I'm at. There's some really nice spots on the other side in the cliffs.
Uh-huh.
Supposed to be able to find fossils and all that kind of stuff here. Hey, Sandy.
Sandy, do you still have your guest, or are you guys all gone? Sandy was having a big craft
So how's your
workshop.
guys' weather? It's 81 where I'm sitting.
Oh,
It felt like 81 here today.
it's 65 here.
I also got my camping fans that are blowing directly on me. Gotta
It
love
was
these
32 when I
USB
woke up this
fans, I'll
morning.
tell you that.
We had frost warnings when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we did too. It was 36 when I got up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 81 in California too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I spent all day in the garden planting things.
No more frost warnings then?
At that time of year.
Yep.
But I wanted to get it done because we're supposed to have a really bad storm this afternoon, and it's going to rain and water all that stuff I just planted.
Probably getting what we've had for the last 3 or 4 days. It did nothing but rain here for like 4 days straight.
Wow.
Mm.
I haven't had that in 4 years.
Yeah, we need the rain. We've had a lot of fires and everything, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
we need the rain out here.
Rain and
Yeah,
not
we've
the
been
lightning.
getting quite a bit. What's that, Don?
I said rain without the lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been getting a lot of rain. Sandy's been having her get together over at her house. I haven't heard any sirens, so I don't think the police have been called over there yet. I've been waiting for it.
Give her time.
Give her time.
Is it a family gathering then?
Yeah, she said that there's still a couple more coming in from Colorado Springs. So, oh my. Let's see. I am going out later. I'm hoping maybe tomorrow night and try to get a picture of Milky Way stuff. It's supposed to be pretty back then.
But close to your house.
It'll be about a 3-hour drive where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
So you're just going to go out, stay the night?
Yeah. Because it's, it doesn't come up until 4:30 in the morning. So, but I got a couple of really nice ones when I was out on this last trip. But then I also got a couple of busts. The clouds rolled in and it didn't do well. But a couple of unique shots. It was sort of fun.
Well, I pulled in here yesterday. I wasn't sure what the weather was going to be like. It was completely overcast, 75 degrees. It's like muggy. It's like, okay, I've been in 18% humidity for a long time, last 5 months. And I look and it's only like 38% humidity. It's like, it's that bad at 38% humidity? I don't know if I want to go back to Washington.
Oh my, yeah.
But
Now,
are you today?
Are you going to go back to Washington, Tony, or are you staying
We
there?
haven't decided.
Oh, okay.
I know we want to hit the coast,
Yeah.
Oregon, but
Okay.
we really haven't decided whether we want to just do that or bolt back over to Montana. Right as of right now, with my kids living in Yuma, Arizona,
Yeah.
we have no ties in Washington.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can do whatever we want. It's kind of cool.
That's nice. That's nice.
Might go back to Grand Canyon.
Go back where?
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon. Okay.
Well, now that we can film in national parks, that'd be more entertaining than
Yeah.
the dumps,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
I
nice.
was so glad to hear that.
When I went to Chaco Canyon and I was doing the video there, they had asked, they said, just don't tell us. Just don't tell us.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and I'd always take a ton of photos. And I'd just do a photo dump video. But now that it's legal again, yay.
Yeah.
I can actually
Now
just turn the camera on and do it.
Do it. Yep. Yep. Don Byron's asking you what what was okay.
How long a hike you looking for?
I do the Washington one. Bridge of the Gods up to Mount Adams, up to White Pass. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful section of trail.
Central Oregon from where we started again at Willamette Pass to just south of Mount Jefferson was gorgeous. The Three Sisters Wilderness, man, that was pretty.
That's some beautiful country too. Can't knock, from Northern California to Canadian border, pretty much.
Yeah. But there was areas in the desert that I really enjoyed too.
Like
that
the
last
pipeline?
Section.
Like the pipeline?
No, I can leave that one. It'd been a little more enjoyable, but I had somebody with me, I think. But I was hiking that all day long by myself. I didn't see a soul. Most people do that. They start at like 4 or 5 in the evening.
Yeah, do a nighttime run, get across.
Yeah, they hike till about 2 in the morning, but yeah, I didn't want to get my schedule off.
Oh my!
Vasquez Rocks was really pretty coming out of Acton and Agua Dulce. I like that area. San Jacinto's are always gorgeous.
I've done the section around Mount Adams 3 times myself because that is just such a cool spot. That and you get around and there's lakes everywhere, so you can just jump in. I like that aspect.
Yeah.
Get away from the bugs when you're in the water. Flies, the mosquitoes, the bees.
Oh, goodness. Vika, you have any more adventures coming up?
Well, I'm still chopping away at the Palmetto Trail, little by little.
Okay.
It's the logistics there is kind of sketchy sometimes. Getting somebody to, of course, they have people who are in charge of each section of the trail, and that can give you rides and everything. But sometimes getting up with them's a little difficult.
Yeah.
But yep, just keep chopping away at that one. And this summer, we're talking about making a trip to Maine. So I'm thinking I might be able to find something up there.
Yeah, seafood.
Oh, yeah.
Lobster po' boys.
Yeah. Now, my husband loves lobster, but I don't like them.
The coast is the seafood.
I
always get a crab, poor boy.
You go out. When we went up there. We stopped in New Hampshire. We went out on one of the whale.
Okay.
Adventures. That was cool. That we really enjoyed that, and then we enjoyed Maine. Just if you go to Maine and you go to Bangor, Maine, you got to go and see the Duck of Justice.
There's a story there.
There's a story.
We're waiting.
I'm afraid to ask.
The police department in Bangor, Maine has a museum, and they had the detective, and he had a Facebook site, and he was hilarious. He wrote great stories all about Bangor, and he was their detective. Well, the I don't know if they have a DA or if it's just a county attorney, but the attorney quit. And when he quit, they cleaned out his office. And so the detective goes in and they have this stuffed mallard duck in a trash can. And he said, "You can't throw away a duck." And they said, "Well, we don't want it." So he takes the duck. And then he starts writing these stories about the duck of justice. And it became so famous that they put it in the museum. They have this beautiful wooden stand with this glass cover on it. The stand, that thing's got to cost more than that duck. But anyway, they've got it on there. And so people come from around the world and write in the journal there to see the duck of justice. So when you go up, you gotta go to the police department. We went there, and the museum was closed. So the clerk, she said, "Oh, no, we'll open it for you." So he comes out. He was still on. He's retired now, but he came out and opened up the museum for us and took us through it to say, that you got to see the duck of justice. And he told us all these stories. Yeah, Nicole, she's online. I told Tim about it, and but if you go up there, Mika, you got to see it. It's just awesome.
Add the duck to your trip.
It's just funny. It's one of those things that makes you laugh on the inside.
Well, I mean, that's some of the small towns I've been through and stuff. They always have their little quirk,
Yeah.
When I went through Liberty, Kansas,
Yeah.
and they had that Wizard of Oz section in there, and it was like, yeah, gotta go see this,
Yeah. It's not a whole lot to see, but there's not a whole lot to see in Liberty.
It's Kansas, there's not a lot to see anyway, so take what you get.
Oh, me. Yeah, there's not a lot in Liberty.
No. But they have that.
They have that.
It's a small little park, but
Yep. Oh my, it's fun. But yeah, I like the little towns that can laugh at themselves. There's another little town here called Elk Falls. And there's Elk County, there's Elk Falls, there's the Elk River, and there's not an elk in sight. I don't know where they came.
Is there elk in Kansas?
They brought some in, and they're in the northeast corner, but this is down in the southeast. But anyway, every year Elk Falls, Kansas has the outhouse tour, and they will have 28 to 30 outhouses that they decorate, and they have a competition on who's going to win the best looking outhouse. It's hilarious.
You did a video on that, didn't you?
I've done it for 3 years. I need to go back and do it. It's just awesome.
That's pretty. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. There was
in Idlewild, California, they're an unincorporated town, so they elected a dog as mayor.
Yeah.
And he's been the mayor for quite a while. You probably saw him in that video I posted on that.
Yeah, I saw him in your video. Just about everybody that does a video going through town stops to see the mayor.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately in 22 we met the mayor, and he passed away, so that's his successor that I saw last year. Yeah.
And they don't have a term limitation on him, do they?
No.
It's a lifelong one.
That's great. That's great. Oh goodness.
Dan, you
I
should
went through
go.
Idlewild, but I didn't have the time to stop Otherwise, I'd have stopped and definitely visited with him.
Yeah.
Dan, you should go to do a photo shoot at the balloon festival in Albuquerque.
I should do that.
Yeah.
I have a good friend that lives there, and he sends me a bunch of pictures every year. He sends of it. But yeah, that would be a good.
I saw a bunch of balloons this morning on my way to Walmart.
Really?
Yeah, they're launching somewhere nearby. By the time I came out of Walmart, they were long gone. Couldn't see them over the hills.
Huh.
Yeah, that's a big thing in Albuquerque. I remember that because I graduated high school in New Mexico, and people always talked about that.
Yeah, that's huge in comparison.
Well,
I mean, I've been up camping up north of Phoenix, and every day, 8 to 10 balloons go flying by. Some of them even land right close to us. You know, it was just kind of cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Let's see, Helen, Georgia, where they have a hot air balloon festival too.
Oh, do they?
Every year, yeah.
Okay.
There's so much hot air down there, they probably fly pretty good.
They go well. Helen is such a neat place because
yeah, cute little town.
The most German town that has no German connection.
Yeah.
You know the story of that because it's where they needed to do something, so they had a town hall meeting and decided we're going to be German, and they started making German looking, they make all their buildings look like they're half timbers.
Yeah.
You feel like in southern Germany when you're there.
It worked.
It worked. It's a neat town. It's a neat town. Oh my. It's good to have Camping Cage here. Tony, he jumps on both our channels.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of neat. That's sort of neat. Let's see what else is happening.
Well, Dan, when I was in the Smokies, I scared up 2 pileated woodpeckers.
Really?
They were huge. I mean, they were massive, and I tried my best to get them on camera. I tried my best, but every time I got at least a little bit close to them, they would fly off. And
they're shy. Yeah, I don't. It's interesting why they're so shy. They're big. They're huge.
Well,
I know. And we have camped in campgrounds. We have camped in campgrounds up there and have them fly right up to a post or something in the campground and not be afraid. But these 2 were, they just didn't want me to get in their picture.
I mean, Dawn's been taking those pictures last year of so many lizards and horned lizards, the regular creepy crawlies, and you take the time to look and see that stuff, which I think is the best part about your videos, along with the scenery. Even the stupid pics of you smiling at the camera on the background. It's like, I don't even see you smiling until like the end of the pic because I'm looking at the background.
Yeah.
Because so many do the trail and never even think about that kind of stuff. They're just vlogging.
You see all kinds of stuff too, and a lot of times you see stuff you can't, you don't have time to get your phone out or camera out, and you miss it. But so I like capturing that stuff when I can. I
enjoyed the flowers. I mean, oh man, how many lupins are there?
Oh man,
the rest of the trail's the same way.
There's a lot. There's a lot of manzanita too.
Yeah. That's in California, though. They start ending once you hit into Oregon.
Yeah.
At least you're not hiking hard through the manzanita because that is a rough terrain going through those buggers.
I did have to do that in Northern California because I was trying to get a route around some sketchy snow and stuff. So I took this dotted line, which was labeled a road. It wasn't even a trail. And it was just manzanita. And literally, I mean, I'm pushing through these things. And I didn't realize, you don't realize until you're pushing through them how stiff they are. And I got to the end of this thing, and it took me like 6 or 7 hours to go 4 miles. I mean, it was crazy.
Oh yeah.
And there was a fella who had come in going north because I was going south, and somebody had called search and rescue for him, and they ended up calling it off, and a trail angel came to pick him up, but he was shredded. He'd gone in and got stuck, and then found his way back out after a day or two, and his clothes, he was wearing shorts, and his legs were just shredded, all bloody. His shirt was all ripped. He was a big dude too.
Oh man.
And I was
That's
like,
one of those times you got to take your pack off, shove it through.
Yeah.
You go through, shove it through. You go through, shove it through.
A couple of times things got caught, but I found a few items that I know somebody just got ripped off of them. And that's not a normal way to go, or most people will go the trail, right? But I heard a lot of bad things, and I'd already slipped once, and I'm like, oh, I'll just try pushing through the Manzanita. And I still hit some bad snow, but it was still not that bad. And the Manzanita, though, was, oh my gosh. I told somebody when I got down and I saw that guy, and I was about ready to hang up my trekking poles right there. That was brutal.
Trade them in for chainsaws.
Yeah, I was ready to be done.
Oh, goodness. Did you have micro spikes or anything, Don?
I did, yeah. I didn't have an ice axe in that area because there wasn't supposed to be that much snow, and there wasn't, relatively speaking. There's about 4 or 5 miles of it, and I did have to self-arrest with my trekking poles because I slipped.
Oh, really?
And, yeah,
That's better than the
scared
hands.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It scared me a little bit because I was by myself too, and I'd been reading comments about all kinds of people in that section having to get rescued.
Mm.
Nope.
I was climbing out in the Olympics, climbing up a glacier one time, and it was pretty much you stick your hand in, your toes in, and at one point I stuck my hand in. It was only about 2 inches deep. And it was like, look around. I'm out of here.
Yes.
Found the closest rock I could find and jumped to it. And sat there, till the heart settled back down. Because the last thing you want to do is bust through that ice and be flushed, down the mountain.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Well, and right after I slipped too, not literally like 25 yards, there was a little bit of dry trail, and then I had to climb up this little snowbank, and I slipped once and back to the trail, and there was a rattlesnake literally like 5 feet from my leg by a rock, and I'm like, good grief.
A rattlesnake when you're sliding on ice.
Yeah, he was in the dirt by the rock at the bottom of the ice, and I was trying to get up that. Yeah, it was just.
Oh my goodness!
It was a sign, I think. Should have done it.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, but I went out this last trip, and it's nothing. I mean, this compares any of that. It's first night I was at this little. It was an old prairie schoolhouse. It's on the end of the Tallgrass Prairie Preserve, National Preserve in central Kansas. And it's out in the middle of pretty much nowhere. But they'd given me permission to get out there and get pictures of the Milky Way over this little old limestone school building. It's really neat. And they turned out great. But I'm trying to back up to get a better shot, and I hit a rock, and when I did, both feet went out from under me, and I landed in the middle of those rocks. I'm trying to protect my camera. I thought I broke my finger. I really gouged it. It still just cut up pretty bad, but I thought for sure I broke my finger, and I'm there feeling everything else to see if anything else is bleeding or hurt, but I was fine. But yeah. There was no rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Although it's sort of getting that season. It was hot enough in around Lake Scott that I was sort of concerned about rattlesnakes out there.
Now I got a couple hikes planned around here, and that's one of my concerns.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Yeah, as long as that's why I think I saw a lot of lizards and bugs and stuff because after I saw the first one in like day 3 or whatever it was, I had in my mind I'm just gonna make sure I keep focused. But
Pay attention.
yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, if you scare them, then that's when they if you're close enough, they'll strike. But if they're just trying to warn you, and then you can stay away.
Yeah.
I do a lot of scrambling up through the rocks and stuff like that, so there's no warning. It's they shoot,
Yeah.
At least that's what people tell me. I've not even seen a dang rattlesnake down here yet.
Yeah. Famous last words.
Yeah. I've been wanting to see one.
You may not see them.
Yeah, you may never see them and still get hit.
Yeah. It's like we were on a patrol. It's in Sarajevo during the war, and I kept hearing bees. Bees were flying around. I was like, what in the world? Where are these bees coming from? And then I saw a spark on the pavement in front of us. It wasn't bees. The sniper was shooting at us. You see this spark. It's like, oh man. So yeah,
bees are fireflies, right?
They were fireflies. Yeah, not fun.
So I can't
Well,
remember.
when the bees are out, so are the snakes. So
yeah.
And there've been a lot of bees around here, mostly honeybees. I just kind of shoo them out of here and leave me alone. But I've been having them land on me and stuff since I've been here. And it's like, I got nothing for you. Why are you even bothering?
Oh goodness. Yeah. Well.
I was a little disappointed in the Smokies. 12 miles in the Smokies and not one single bear did I see.
I was going to ask you. You didn't see any?
Not a one.
Huh.
They must have smelled you first.
I would have thought I would have attracted them because I had food in my pack. But but I didn't see a single one. Now
the smoked jerky earrings would help.
About a half a mile before I got off the trail, I heard something run up at the top of the ridge, and a couple of teenagers walked by me and they said, "Did you see anything?" I said, "No," but I said, "I heard something run up at the top of the ridge," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and they kept on going. I'm like, I was meant to be a warning. They didn't have any bear spray or anything.
No. Did it sound heavy or was it?
Yeah, it was either a bear or a big deer, one or the other.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see it.
Rick and I were hiking north of Roan Mountain, and we'd just gotten on the trail from the trailhead, and I hear this bounding, and it's like this thing was falling. He fell out of the side of the mountain right on the trail about 30, 45, 50 feet in front of me. And stops and looks at me, big bear. And then he saw me and he stood up and he just scrambled kept going down the side of the mountain, but kept falling. I mean, he was out of control. But he was funny.
They don't do downhill very well.
They don't do downhill good. But I think some dogs were chasing him. There were some people out there. They were actually deer hunting, but I think the dogs got after him. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Fun time. So that's surprising. You get in the Smokies because there's so many in the Smokies.
Yeah, and it's spring, so I figured there'd be quite a few out.
Yeah.
Man.
They're waiting for all the thru hikers to come through.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, let's see, a lot of them have already gone through. are the ones the guys that I know. But they started in January.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hear a few had trouble with bears coming through the Smokies.
Yes.
Because they've learned how to they get in the earth sacks, and
Yeah.
some of them can get into the canisters. And
Well, I had one at Betty Creek campsite that he got my food bag. I had a PCT hang. That didn't matter. He got my bag. He got two other people's bags, and he opened two bear canisters. And the only one that he didn't open, it had a lock with a key, and he couldn't open it. So he just rolled it in the mud. And that thing was he was mad. So it was just filthy muddy where he just rolled it in the mud. But yeah, he had a full belly that night.
too smart for his own good.
So
Yes.
what kind of bear can did he get into?
Just the twist lids
Twist lids, like
without the lock.
Well,
Yep.
The ones
The
we
old
have
style-
have
the old style
like a
canister.
double tab that you click twice to lock. Yeah, like that.
Right.
Yeah. These didn't have the tabs; they just twisted shut.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, these once you lock them, they're hard to get into if you want to get into them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're almost people proof.
But yeah,
They do make keys
they were
for
a lot
that.
like
They're
this, only
pretty
they didn't
cool.
have the tabs. What's that, Tony?
They make keys for it that are pretty cool.
Yeah, sort of like well, I've seen where you can use a credit card or a driver's license.
Yeah, they actually make a key. You attach the canister that you can clip on there and then spin your lid right off.
Oh, well, that would be neat.
I think that's Chicken Tramper.
Yeah.
I kill my fingers every time I'm trying to open it.
I've never used a canister or a bear bag. I keep my food in my backpack too. I've never had a problem with bears.
I got this.
I've had them in camp, but never a problem.
I think I'm going with Tim and Nicole in July to Great Lakes, Grand Lakes, Colorado. And I think we have to have these. I hate them.
Yeah. An extra pound you don't need. 2 pounds.
Well, it's not a squishable volume either.
That's the best thing about the canister compared to the bags is even if they can't get in your bag, they're going to destroy what's in your bag.
Yeah, they're going to crush it.
With the canister, they can't get in it. What are they going to do? They're not going to destroy your canister.
Roll it down the mountain.
That's always an option.
I've seen an approved like ultralight bear bag. It's I don't know what kind of material it is. It's they have the earth sacks, but this is like an ultralight bag, and it's approved as a bear food containing device that's supposedly approved in a lot of
keeps the rodents out. That's the big one for me is the rodents.
Yeah, I think it was Jupiter Hikes channel that I saw that on.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. So I like the idea of a light bag.
Yeah. It's supposedly approved by whatever association agency that approves bear.
Squirrels and mice don't get in mine. I'm pretty happy because I usually stick my food in my backpack, and it takes a lot more work to get through the backpack into the food bag, and they don't smell it as easy either. That, and we always put Dawn on our bags before we leave.
Oh, I'm kind of heavy. Sorry. Bad joke.
A little bit of soap deters most things.
Yes. Oh my. Yeah, I used an Ursac when we went to Wyoming, and of course there was a bear that came through between Rick's tent and my tent in the middle of the night. It was a grizzly. It had the tracks the next morning.
Yeah, the big old tracks.
Huge. I just couldn't imagine how big they were. I'm looking at that, and a ranger comes up, and I said, "I'm just glad we're not in grizzly country." He said, "Oh, that was a grizzly." He said, "He was a big one." Yeah.
There've been many times hiking up in northern British Columbia, and we'd have smoked fish, smoked meat,
Good
all in a
night.
bag, and there's no scent proofing that stuff, you know.
No.
A grizzly would walk. You'd see the tracks in the morning, walk right around your tent, and carry on.
Good night.
And it's like,
Oh,
you gotta be kidding me! Didn't even try to get in and get the food.
oh man.
Because back then we never even heard about hanging our food or anything like that. Which hanging your food's useless, but they want it. They can smell it, the scent on the cordage.
Yeah.
And they'll go after the cordage first. Next thing you know, that bag hits the ground and they're eating.
Yep. That's what happened with mine. He had a good meal. Got my medicine too, though.
Oh, he was feeling good.
Yeah. His cholesterol dropped and his blood pressure went down. Well, oh goodness.
I don't fear the animals out there. I just never have.
Yeah. No, that's what I had. Somebody asked me last week if I can get scared by myself. I said, I don't. I really don't.
I hear that all the time.
Oh, really?
How can you go out there alone?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Aren't you scared?
Yeah, not alone.
My biggest fear is humans, not the wildlife.
Bunch of bears keep me company.
Yeah.
We had this conversation at my son's house on my husband's birthday. We went over there, and my son was fussing at my daughter-in-law because she runs around the sports park close to us several times. And he says, you got to protect yourself. You don't know who's going to grab you. You're running around, and somebody just might grab you. And he's just fussing at her. And then they're fussing at me for being on the trail all by myself. And I kind of got aggravated. And I said, well, let's all just close up in our house and live in fear the rest of our lives.
Yep.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
And then
you can't do that though.
No.
You can't live like that.
No.
I mean, you don't be stupid. You do protect yourself, but you can't just stay in your house and live in fear that something might happen.
No. That's just there's a whole generation that seems like want to just be afraid, and fear can be addictive.
Yeah.
We can get really want
if you
to
don't
be
want
afraid.
to learn. If you don't want to learn from it, it could be a problem.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And one thing about it, if something happens while you're out there, if something was to happen to me on the trail, I would die doing what I loved, right?
That's the way I see it.
Don't worry about me.
Our daughters, they argue over who's going to get, if something happens to me, they argue over who's going to take their mother in. Now, she doesn't want to go to either one of them, but they argue over the winner gets mom. And with me, if something, I asked them once, I said, well, what about me? If something happens to her first? And then they said, well, we'll argue about it. And the loser has to take, I said, neither
you mean we're just going to put you in a home, right?
I'm gonna buy a cabin on top of a tall mountain, and I'm gonna go up there and just die in that cabin. That's what I want to do. Well, guys, it's about that time to start landing the plane.
That went quick.
That went quick.
Was a quick hour.
Yeah, and it was great to see you. And Bika, thanks for joining us too.
I'm glad you made it back safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was people were
I'm glad
talking
I
about
made it back alive from that mountain hike. When I heard when I finally figured out how long it was, I was like, did I really do that?
it was just an afternoon.
Yeah. Just an afternoon.
I don't know what that is with all trails that does that, but it doesn't matter. It's always an afternoon. Yep.
I used it in the garden.
Huh?
Used it in the garden.
Thanks for joining us today. And we will. I'm gonna let you go get dinner. It look like Beacon might already be serving up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear my wife talking to my son, so I need to go get on the phone.
All right. Y'all take care. Great to see you. Thanks for joining me,
everybody.
All right.
Take care.
Good night.
God bless.
Try to be well.
Bye-bye.